Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulonding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Fadera. In the headlines tonight, President Barrow lays Hakalang Road Foundation stone. EU Ambassador makes clarification on recent joint press release. GPU in collaboration with CSC commemorates International Access to Information Day. UN's 75th anniversary honored with poetry and painting competition in the Gambia. Bayu Masila helps the needy through his farm on the international scene. Sudan leaders meet in Khartoum to address economic challenges. Game on in Kenya, footballers hoping for return. Donald Trump paid no income tax in 10 of last 15 years according to the New York Times. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in details. His Excellency President Adama Barrow has fulfilled his promise to the people of Nyomi as he laid the Hakalang Road Foundation stone over the weekend at Bunyadu, paving the way for construction to begin. The 88-kilometer road construction is expected to be completed within 26 months. Well, Mariama Dem reports.
The laying of the Hakalang Road Foundation stone marks a milestone of a new beginning for the people of Nyomi, as they have been yearning for years to see such transformation happen. The Hakalang Road connects different communities and villages, including a very vital tourist destination such as Jufre and Albreda in the North Bank region. These communities over the years have been facing difficulties in transportation due to bad and bumpy roads. This made some drivers abandon the road, especially in the rainy season, as the poor condition damages their vehicle engines. Consequently, it has seriously affected the economic activities in these areas. However, His Excellency President Adama Barrow has stepped in to fulfill his promise to the people of Nyomi. He has turned their long-awaited dream into a reality as he laid the foundation stone to transform the bad and bumpy Hakalang Road into a smooth one. The laying of the foundation stone ceremony brought together cabinet ministers, top government officials, religious leaders, National Assembly members, governors, chiefs, alcalos, thousands of residents of the surrounding communities and griots of different ethnic groups. However, while speaking during the ceremony in Bunyadu, His Excellency President Adama Barrow says that the project marks a significant milestone in the development endeavors of his government, and it will provide interlinked roads covering the length and breadth of Nyomi.
It is indeed my pleasure and honor to be here today to lay the foundation stone for the long-awaited Nyomi-Hakalang roads. We all know that the lack of good and adequate road infrastructure in the rural area has contributed to the great disparities between rural and urban communities. Today's event therefore marks another significant milestone in the development endeavors of my government. As stated in our National Development Plan, our goal is to deliver good governance and accountability, social cohesion and national reconciliation, and a revitalized and transformed economy for the well-being of all Gambians.
The president noted that the project amply demonstrates his government's commitment to inclusiveness in the Gambia. With improved road networks, the site for better social facilities and employment opportunities in the urban area will be curtailed. Thus, the creation of a growing business environment to improve the economic status of rural residents will become far easier to be realized. He further noted that, as a government, they have taken the critical decision to rebuild the country's economy and bring infrastructural development closer to the people.
To rebuild the economy, however, we must have access to good roads, uninterrupted electricity supply, and technology to enhance the capacity of the people and their well-being. Laying the foundation stone for the construction of the Hakalan Road network is evidence of our strong will to ensure that no section of Gambian society is deprived of their rights to live dignified life and have their equal share of the national cake.
President Barrow thanked the government's partners and the people of Nyomi for supporting their progress. He further challenged the beneficiaries to take ownership of their development process and commit themselves to meeting their obligations in their best interests. The Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Bayalamin Job, said that the government values the project so much, thus the laying of the foundation stone.
The government values this road and it has put so much effort in it. And the head of development process is the president. If the president did not want or value this road, then it would not have reached this phase. Despite the global pandemic, which has led to lots of challenges, he insisted that the road must be constructed.
He further said their intention is to unlock that part of the country for development as they have been left out for so many years. And Sukumba Mane, Alcala of Bunyadu, and the governor of the North Bank region showed appreciation and thanked the president for fulfilling his promise to the people of Nyomi. Once the Hakalan Road is completed as planned, there will be easy access to different communities and will boost economic activities as well as create other development opportunities in the area. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
The European Union ambassador to the Gambia has shed light on a joint statement which was sent to lawmakers urging them to vote in favor of the draft constitution during a debate meant to qualify the draft bill to the next stage of parliamentary scrutiny. Well, Modu El-Baji files in this report.
The European Union delegates to the Gambia, the United States Embassy, the British High Commissioner and the German Embassy unanimously made a joint statement urging the National Assembly members to vote for the draft bill for the revised constitution to progress to the final stage of parliamentary scrutiny, which many Gambians deem as a form of interference to the state affairs. The joint communique from these foreign entities have attracted a lot of comments from political parties and activists. The European Union is among the donors who pumped millions in the process of drafting a constitution that will guide the Gambia's democratization process and serve the aspirations of the people. The EU ambassador to the Gambia, Attila Lajos, said they did not have any intention to interfere in the Gambia's affairs, adding that their objective is to help the Gambia in achieving the change they have been yearning for since 2016.
Well, I do believe that is an old-style Jammeh rhetoric. The European Union, the United States Embassy, the British High Commission and the Embassy of Germany issued a joint statement, indeed, last Monday, calling on the National Assembly members to let the draft go through the parliamentary scrutiny. And we also lobbied for letting the people, the Gambian people, to decide about the new constitution at a referendum. This is not interfering with internal business because we didn't tell the Gambians what to do. We just promoted the agenda, which has been the agenda of this coalition government since the beginning, to put the draft constitution to a referendum and let the Gambian people to decide. Gambia decided in 2016. I do believe Gambia deserves to decide on a new constitution eventually at a referendum before the next election. That's what we lobbied for.
Despite the joint communique from the foreign authorities and the efforts of the officials of the Constitutional Review Commission, the draft constitution have been rejected by National Assembly members at a primary stage. The EU ambassador described the rejection as democracy in practice.
Well, democracy in practice. Everybody has to accept what happened. Decision was made. Now the question is not that. The question is what's next. And the European Union is very much looking forward to hearing from our Gambian partners how they envisage the continuation of the reform program, legal reforms as it was planned at the beginning of the cooperation. For us, what is really important is that the Gambia continues on the democratization path and continues with the ambitious reform program, including several laws to be changed or repealed before the next election. It is up to the Gambia to decide how to build a consensus, a political compromise among the political actors to make sure that next time when there will be a draft constitution, it will pass the parliamentary scrutiny and eventually it will be put on referendum for the people to decide.
The European Union is one of the organizations supporting the Gambia in the actualization of its development blueprints in the form of loans and grants. However, since the crowning of President Barrow, the Gambia government has continuously enjoyed support of development-oriented projects from the European Union. For Star TV, I am Motu Elbaji.
The Gambia Press Union, in collaboration with the Civil Society Coalition on Access to Information, commemorates the International Access to Information Day, previously known as Right to Information, which is held on 28 September every year. The day is commemorated in recognition of people's right to access government health information and the importance of citizens' access to information in promoting transparency and accountability. Jacqueline Colley has more.
John Charles Njai, chairman of the Access to Information Coalition, said that today is an important day for all Gambians. He said it is a day to remind duty bearers, the government, of their rights as citizens and taxpayers to access information on what they are doing or not doing, the challenges they face and how they can better participate to make the country a better place. He highlighted that knowing the importance of access to information in promoting transparency and accountability, the Civil Society of the Gambia joined forces with the Gambia Press Union to develop a board-based campaign and advocacy for a right-to-know regime in the Gambia. Mr. Njai stressed that the flow of information from government to the citizens in the Gambia has numerous challenges.
Currently in the Gambia, the flow of information from the government to citizens has numerous challenges. The websites of many ministries and departments do not have the relevant information. Most websites lack financial or budgetary information. Responses to routine requests are always poorly handled, or most times poorly handled, with institutions often not responding at all, or questioning why the applicant sought the information in the first place. The underlying causes of this is principally the lack The underlying cause of this is principally the lack of laws guaranteeing access to information.
Mr. Njai strongly believes that poor access to information affects the population at large.
Poor access to information disproportionately affects women, children, and the poor and marginalized, who are often adversely affected by a lack of vital information with respect to their legal, political, and economic rights. It further negatively affects economic growth and development where inadequate mechanisms for sharing information are often attributed to slow progress.
He called on the National Assembly members to help the executive to realize that one of their key campaign promises, which is the enactment of access to information law. He said the enactment of this law is going to be a bold and significant commitment to good governance, given that the country is going through a process of democratic reconstruction post the Jammeh era. Jacqueline Coley, reporting for Star TV News.
The National Center for Arts and Culture, in collaboration with the UNDP, held a presentation ceremony for youths in the industry who won the poetry and painting competition in honor of the United Nations' 75th anniversary. Well, our Sani has the rest of the story.
As this year marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, the winners of the poetry and painting competition shown their skill and emphasis on the Gambia we want to see in 2045. The organization comments people's conversation on the theme The Gambia we want to see in 2045 in order to get more views on how to create a better future for all. Dr. Cherno Omar Bari, the president of the Writers Association of the Gambia, had this to say.
To be a part of this competition, we have witnessed a large number of budding youths in their prime braving the challenge and seeking to please. I would like to extend my gratitude towards their parents who have worked equally hard, encouraging and motivating the participants as they do their research to develop their projects under the theme of the day, UN 75, the Gambia we want to see in 2045. The Writers Association of the Gambia continues to affirm and reaffirm its commitment to support in the promotion of a literary culture in the Gambia. Those who will be honored here are doing inspirational work for sustainable development in their communities. Never has leadership been more challenging than in 2020.
The Director General of the National Center for Arts and Culture, Hasum Sise, confirmed that they were given $260,000 in August by the United Nations to cover the cost of the competition to mark the UN 75th year in existence.
The theme for the competition was the Gambia we want to see in 2045. The activity was done in partnership with the Writers Association of the Gambia and the Visual Arts Association of the Gambia. These are artistic associations fully recognized in Gambian law, and they have, to their credit, worked with the NCAC to ensure the smoothness of the contest.
Mr. Sise added that it was the first time United Nations the Gambia partnered with them. He said they are determined to get a good job with their partners with the help of the board chairperson and the ministry. The resident coordinator for UN, Serafin Wakana, also noted that our future can only be built by our determination when our hands are collectively joined together, as the commemoration celebrates its 75th year, an International Peace Day. She thanked the NCAC for supporting a dialogue on UN 75 and organizing the competition despite the pandemic. Honorable Hamad Nkeba, the Minister of Tourism and Culture, said that more than 200 submissions were made in the whole country with regard to the competition. This, he said, was very encouraging.
I also wish to state that this contest will help to bring work on the UN closer to ordinary Gambian people. But above all, this contest has enabled my ministry through its technical wing, the NCAC, to respond to the need of artists. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused much pain to the Gambian artists, as due to the anti-pandemic prevention measures, the venues have been closed and big gathering prohibited.
The winner of the painting category, Ajindumbe Job, with a cash prize of $20,000, expressed her joy and said she made the painting to explain the meaning of the Gambian flag and how the development of the country should go, using the meaning of the flag. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
The managing director of the Banyuma Silla farm at Kombo Jambanjeli village has told Star TV that the motive behind the operation of this farm is to help the needy. The farm was established 3 years ago in order to help the needy people in the country. Yamudo Koke has more.
Omar Jabi, the managing director of the Banyuma Silla farm, highlighted that the farm was established mainly to help the needy people in the country.
Okay, we are Jambanjeri in our farm. The farmland is called Banyuma Silla farm at Jambanjeri village. So we have vegetables and how to call it?
Orange.
Some fruit here, and then we have fish pond, and we have many things in the garden.
Mr. Jabi said that the farm is 200 by 200 meters square and there are 20 people working on it. He said that the harvest of the farm is set on a 50-50 basic to cater for the needy people. He said that the Banyuma Silla has 3 farms, 2 in Kombo around Basse and Jalamba. He said that Banyuma Silla is a philanthropist, a native of Savi Upper River region, based in the US for many years now. According to Omar Jabi, Banyuma Silla is a person who always helps needy people and has constructed mosques and all of philanthropy's activities. He is said to be an employer of many Gambians in the US. He said that they also have a poultry farm in Sukuta, fish pond in Sabi and some maize farms in Jalamba. Mr. Jabi highlighted the importance of farming, which he describes as not a difficult task but needs ideas and experience.
Farming is not much difficult. So when you talk about farming, people think that it's very difficult. But it's just idea and experience. So we work with the agriculture, those who are in Abuko, and then some people in Casamas. So they give us idea about the orange. So we have experience about it. So it takes us like just 3 years project. It's not like 5 years, just 3 years project. So today we are here.
He concluded by urging the government of the Gambia to help the youth because they don't have the financial capacity to embark on a light-scale farming, but they have the physical strength to work in the farms. However, he added that the youth should also help themselves and quit sitting in ghettos. Samba Issa Fall, an advisor, also added that people should have a vision, and the vision is something which needs persistent hard work to be realized.
Vision, and this vision is something that we'll have to use some missions to achieve this vision. To be able to get this achievement, to grow what you eat and to eat what you grow, it does not depend only on the government. It has to be from the businessmen to the youths and to the philanthropists of the country. And the youths are here. We know lots of people believe that the only way they can make it is only by going away or going abroad. But we say we can make it home. How can we make it home? Through agriculture. The only thing we need is the land and the seedlings and where we can plant these things. Then it will help us to have earnings, and it will also help you to get food. And what I can also tell the philanthropists is to invest in business.
Mr. Kamara also called on philanthropists to emulate Banyuma Silla to help build the nation. He concluded by calling on the youths to engage in agriculture because they can be born poor, but if they die poor, that's on their own making. Yamundo Koka, Star TV News.
Well, time for a short break, but still to come is the international news. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulaling. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Welcome back to Star TV News. Sudan's leaders are holding a 3-day conference to figure out a way to solve the country's economic crisis. The situation led to the declaration of an economic state of emergency earlier this month and the lifting of fuel subsidies to try to save money. Devastating floods and the coronavirus pandemic have compounded the economic problems that have been rampant since South Sudan seceded in 2011. Al Jazeera's Heba Morgan reports from Khartoum, Sudan.
Facing rising inflation and a currency that's lost half its value in the past month alone, Sudan's transitional government launched talks aimed at resolving the country's troubled economy.
Our economy has been deteriorating for years, and it's reached its peak now. Citizens are bearing more than they can, which forces us, even though we're late in doing it, to look for sustainable solutions at home and abroad. At home, we need to know the causes of the economic crisis, because we're still trying to figure out if the problem is structural or administrative.
It was a shortage of fuel, bread, and high inflation that triggered protests in 2018 that led to the overthrow of Sudan's president a few months later. And it's these very same issues, along with the continued drop in the value of the Sudanese pound, that the transitional administration now faces. The coronavirus pandemic and widespread floods have weakened the economy even further.
In this conference, we should look back at the past year and get over its obstacles by using the experience to achieve the second article of our declaration. That article states, ending the economic deterioration and improving living standards of citizens in every aspect. That will not be achieved until we take advantage of our resources and making sure the Ministry of Finance is in control of all public funds.
Sudan's economy has been in a downward spiral since South Sudan gained independence in 2011. Taking with it 75% of the oil fields, which then provided nearly half the country's GDP. To save money, the current administration has lifted the fuel subsidies, which ate up more than a third of the country's budget, while keeping subsidies on other things like wheat and medicine.
Reforming the economy is crucial for the stability of Sudan's transitional government and for its transition to democracy. But the challenges in making reforms are not just at home. The Sudanese government's been on the U.S. list of states sponsoring terrorism since 1993, which has contributed to its economic isolation by many countries.
That lack of foreign trade meant little access to hard currency and made getting off that U.S. list even more urgent. After agreeing to massive compensation payments, Sudan had expected the matter to be resolved very soon. But then during his visit to Khartoum last month, the U.S. Secretary of State added the requirement that Sudan normalize ties with Israel. Sudan replied by saying the current administration did not have such a mandate and that the two issues should remain separate. Meanwhile, the Sudanese people continue to suffer the impact of being blacklisted.
We now have a crisis in transportation, in bread, in market prices, and it's all because of the state of the economy. We want the US to get us off the list of states sponsoring terrorism so we can develop like the rest of the world.
If I buy a kilo of meat 1 month, I can't do it in the next. If I get medical treatment 1 month, I can't get it in the next simply because the prices keep increasing because of the economy and the currency shortages. It's becoming unbearable for many.
More than 60% of the country's 42 million people live below the poverty line. The government says the conference is a first step in a long journey to revive the economy. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Professional footballers in Kenya are hoping to be playing again soon. The government banned all contact sports as part of coronavirus restrictions 6 months ago. A government announcement on what happens next is expected on Tuesday. Al Jazeera's Malcolm Webb reports from Nairobi, Kenya.
This is banned in Kenya. The government stopped all contact sports, including football, 6 months ago to prevent the spread of COVID-19. But the Kenyan Premier League is hoping for government permission to restart next month. Gor Mahia Football Club has won it 6 times in the last 7 years, and the players are keen to prove themselves again. So despite the ban, they've resumed training with some COVID prevention measures.
If you can't play and the fans can't come to watch you, so it has been difficult, and the league had to be cancelled, so we had to stay home and try and train from home. So it really affected us, even financially. The clubs did have no money.
Not only football has suffered because of the COVID restrictions, nearly 2 million Kenyans have lost their jobs, many from the poorest neighbourhoods, where football is a popular pastime. Community games, like this one, have resumed in recent weeks. Schools have been closed since March. There's not much to do, especially for young people. The coronavirus hasn't really caused the kind of major health crisis in Kenya that people feared might happen. Relatively few people have become ill or died compared to many other countries. And so the people here feel, never mind the rules, life and football must go on. The match organisers say it helps keep school-aged children away from drug abuse and crime. The league's clubs say they need to get back in shape ahead of Africa's Champions League and qualifiers for the Africa Cup of Nations. Here, Gor Mahia are playing a friendly match, and it seems nobody's stopping them. 2 passing police officers stopped to watch the game.
I don't want to say they're not enforcing it. They are enforcing it. The fact that you are not being caught, we are trying as much as possible to comply. And we see that it is right now that they do lift it. And hopefully that in another 2 days, we should not be prosecuted for breaching the rules.
New COVID rules are expected to be announced on Tuesday. The clubs and fans are hoping and expecting that big games will be allowed to kick off again. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Nairobi, Kenya.
US President Donald Trump reportedly paid just $750 in federal income tax the year he ran for president. And in his first year in the White House, the New York Times says it has obtained 20 years worth of tax data covering Trump and the companies that make up his business organization. The paper also says Trump did not pay any income tax in 10 of the past 15 years, mostly because he reported significant losses every year. Trump, who has long refused to make his tax feelings public, responded to the report by saying it's totally fake news made up. Al Jazeera's Heidi Zub Castro reports from the U.S. capital of Washington, D.C.
In 2015, the year Donald Trump emerged from a golden elevator to declare his candidacy, he paid $0 in federal income tax, just as he had in 10 out of 15 years prior. In 2016 and 17, President Trump paid just $750 a year in federal income tax, while the average middle-class American family paid more than $10,000. The New York Times says it reviewed more than 2 decades of Trump financial records. The account published Sunday describes a businessman president who avoided taxes by declaring huge losses, but now personally owes creditors more than $300 million soon to be due. Trump's prized golf resorts reported losses of $315 million since 2000, the Times reports. The Washington Trump Hotel shows a loss of $55 million. Trump has long sought to suppress his financial records, taking the fight to the Supreme Court. At a hastily called press conference Sunday, Trump sought to discredit the New York Times reporting based on leaked information.
It's totally fake news, made up, fake. We went through the same stories. You could have asked me the same questions 4 years ago. I had to litigate this and talk about it. Totally fake news. No, actually, I paid tax. And you'll see that as soon as my tax returns. It's under audit. They've been under audit for a long time.
Indeed, the Times reports the Internal Revenue Service audit concerns the legitimacy of a $72 million tax refund that Trump began receiving in 2008. And then there are the potential conflicts of interest. Trump has refused to divest in his businesses while president. The Times reports his Mar-a-Lago resort has made $5 million a year in new members since Trump became president. And his resort in Doral collected $7 million from the Bank of America. Overseas income brought him $73 million in his first 2 years in the White House.
Ivanka, say a few words, come.
And in an arrangement that reduced Trump's taxable income, the president's daughter and White House advisor Ivanka Trump appears to have been paid as a consultant, even as she managed her father's business.
Trump may be engaging in tax fraud on an epic scale where he's using fake consultants, i.e. his children, to turn businesses that would be turning a profit into losses that he can count on his few businesses that make money. But they're only losses because he's making these ridiculous payments to people who are on his company's payroll already.
The Times reports the trove of records do not appear to incriminate Trump further in his business dealings with Russia. The Times did not publish the records themselves. Democrats on Twitter quickly seized on the report, a roadmap of possible attacks against the president. The New York Times says it obtained Trump's financial records from confidential sources with legal access to the information. The paper promises to publish more revelations in the days to come. This may well be what the Trump campaign most feared, an earthquake of damaging reports just weeks before voters head to the polls. The ground once again shifting in an election year full of surprises. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. President Barrow lays Hakalang Road Foundation stone. EU ambassador makes clarification on recent joint press release. GPU in collaboration with CSC commemorates International Access to Information Day. UN's 75th anniversary honored with poetry and painting competition in the Gambia. Bayu Masila helps the needy through his farm on the international scene. Sudan leaders meet in Khartoum to address economic challenges. Game on in Kenya, footballers hoping for return. Donald Trump paid no income tax in 10 of last 15 years according to the New York Times. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of our programs and do join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.